النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم. And the theme is still Hajj and Umrah and whatnot. And this is a short hadith, but I find it inshallah beautiful, and hopefully you'll enjoy listening to it. قال الغازي في سبيل الله والحاج والمعتمر. So he used these two examples. He said, the ghazi fi sabilillah, the one who goes out on conquest of combat for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the hajj and mu'tamir, the person who goes for hajj and umrah. Wafdullah are the guests and the responders to Allah. Al-wafd is when a group of people, today if you're watching the news and you hear about a wafd is a group, a designated or delegated group of people that are visiting a certain place, and they're going to be treated well. So the wafd, يَوْمَ نَحْشُرُ الْمُتَّقِينَ إِلَى الرَّحْمَنِ وَفْدًا. So when we're going to bring the muttaqeen to their most merciful, wafda, as a dignified group that is. So he's referring to alayhi salam al-ghazi fi sabilillah. So those who go out on combat for the sake of Allah. Wal hajj wal mu'tamir, and those who go for hajj and umrah are the dignified guests and groups that go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like they're visiting Him. This in terms of going to the Kaaba, and this in terms of going to establish justice on earth, both of them. قال دعاهم فأجابوه وسألوه فأعطاهم. So the way he described it عليه الصلاة والسلام is that دعاهم, Allah called upon them, فأجابوه, and they responded to Him, وسألوه, and then they asked Him, فأعطاهم, and He gave them what they asked for. May Allah shall grant us that. And he equalized, alayhi sallam, or he, at least to a certain degree, compared in an equivalent manner between those who go on a conquest for the sake of Allah and those who go for Hajj and Umrah. And that's meaningful. I continue to narrate to you these ahadith that prove that point, that Hajj is extremely powerful as a ritual. It is often compared to jihad. Actually, in the Quran, it often is too. If you study Surah Al-Hajj, you find Surah Al-Hajj is talking about jihad specifically. It's called Al-Hajj and it's talking about jihad. So you find them to be quite, they always come hand in hand, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because not every Muslim is going to be in the position of performing that difficult type of jihad, which is combat. It's rare. Inshallah, we don't have to do it. It's not something you look forward to or you hope for. If needed, then you hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants you the strength and courage to be there for it. But we don't want to be in combat and war. We don't want more war and more blood and more death. That's not the goal. You should never hope for that to begin with. You always hope for peaceful resolution of conflicts, and you always hope for justice to be established without bloodshed. It's just the concept that if not, then at least you're willing to do that, and you would want to be someone who does it. But the Prophet ﷺ always equalized between the two, because this is very close to it. Performing Hajj has that ajr, and nothing comes close to jihad in our deen. But Hajj does. Hajj cuts it really close, really close. So when I tell people to perform Hajj, make sure you take the time to understand it, so that you go and you fully experience it. You allow Hajj to do for you what al-ghazu and jihad does for those who do that. Otherwise, you end up walking away with little of what you could have taken from it. And you are the wafd of Allah when you do it. Hajj, you are the guest of God. He called you, you responded, and then you ask Him, He will give you. And I can't think of a more beautiful dynamic. يروي الإمام ابن ماجه في سننه بسند حسن عن عبد الله بن عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنهما قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم الغازي في سبيل الله والحاج والمعتمر وفد الله دعاهم فأجابوه وسألوه فأعطاهم. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. سبحانك وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. جزاكم الله خير.